Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best.
Let's talk about the CFL conference finals. Interesting one out in Winnipeg. Hamilton Ticats, the Jekyll and Hyde of the CFL, going in to take a team that's great on defense, aggressive, mean, tough, but questionable offense, really.
Right, and it'll be so fun to watch this game because it's not the Montreal Alouettes in the East Final.
Yeah.
First time seemingly forever.
Yeah.
This is such a fun matchup. Kevin Glenn going back to his former team, the one that said he couldn't win the big game and got rid of him a few years ago. And he's going in to face that defense. It's going to be fired up. They're going to be chomping at the bit to get into that the face of Kevin Glenn. And you saw in the East Final, he took some big shots, and Quentin Porter had to come in and clean it up and help out for that victory. It's going to be a lot of pressure on him, and Kevin Glenn is going to have to respond. Obviously, the Bombers, they're going to have to run the ball well, and Chris Garrett can run the ball, but Hamilton has got that front seven. I really like some of their linebacking core. Now that Jamal Johnson's back and playing well, him and Ray Williams, those guys are going to be key shutting down the run game.
Interesting decision, game time decision at Hamilton, benching Stevie Baggs.
Yes.
Interesting to see if he'll come back and play in this one.
Well, you would think that with Jamal Johnson, the way they structured their import ratio, they had to sit Stevie Baggs to get Jamal Johnson on the roster.
Yep.
That's what it worked. He got a big interception in that East semifinal. He's a real impact player for them. Stevie Baggs has not been. I know they're paying him a lot of money, but that's what happens when you're...
So you're basically saying he's relying on an old reputation.
He's relying on John Chick helping him get 12 sacks a couple years ago.
Good enough.
And
fair enough.
And then he got himself a big free agent contract.
Yeah.
And when you get the big free agent contract, the team always has to justify it by keep running you out there, even though you might not be the best option.
If there's ever a franchise that needs to win a Grey Cup right now, it's Winnipeg. They haven't been there for so many years.
Longest drought.
Yes, when Mike Riley was there and they had those great teams, you kind of got tired of them, but they were a great defensive football team. But you go to a Grey Cup, other than Saskatchewan fans, the next bunch of loud, loyal, rowdy fans are the Winnipeg guys, and they need to get there. I love that whole community football thing too. And a new stadium coming their way, it'd be great to, wouldn't that be a great way for that to kick off?
Right, and you remember 2007, it was Riders versus Bombers in the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
The Rider fans overshadowed the Bomber fans that showed up because there were quite a few, and it's a passionate fan base as well. They will show up in Vancouver if they get there, and they realize this is a really good chance. Buck Pierce only has X amount of games left on his career, right?
I'd say minutes.
Yeah, well, he's in and out, and he's always a question mark, and he was voted toughest CFL player in the poll because he always takes the vicious hit and gets up, but then he gets hurt on the seemingly innocuous hit, right?
Yeah.
They've got to seize this opportunity, right? They've got a defense now that can sustain. They can win football games with the crowd behind them. That's really key. The Stampeders could have used that this year. They could have used a home crowd with as much passion as Winnipeg has. They have an effect on the game, and I think they're going to be the favorites to get to the Grey Cup against Hamilton.
When you match up Edmonton against the BC Lions, I'm looking at what Edmonton has, a great receiving core, a questionable offensive line, and now a questionable running game. Ricky Ray, as we know, I still like what he does as a quarterback, but against that defense of what BC has, and how aggressive they can be, I'm looking at the Lions to win this one.
Yeah, likely. There's going to be a ton of pressure on them, though. Yeah. They're the home team in the Grey Cup, and getting to the Grey Cup and winning it in your home park is extremely difficult. That's why it hasn't been done since 1994 when the BC Lions did it, right? Obviously, much different team now than it was then. And the last time these two teams played, the Lions got out to a great start, scored on their first couple of possessions, and then played with the lead the entire game. The Eskimos going to have to get out to a good start, and they're going to have to hold on to the ball when those opportunities are there to be made. In the last game they played against them, Fred Stamps dropped a couple of key passes, unlike him, obviously.
Yes.
And if he makes those plays, I think it was a different game. This time they can't make any of those type of errors. BC is such a good football team. You're going to have to play really close to the vest. You can't make big mistakes. And the Eskimos did that against the Stampeders. They didn't make too many big mistakes. They're going to have to do it again this week.
If Messam is out, that takes away a lot of the fighting, during games.
Yeah.
One question I do want to ask you though: is this Wally Buono's last year? Is this it on for the sidelines? I think they'll move him upstairs eventually, but
if he walks away with a Grey Cup, I say he walks up into the front office and takes the president executive position, and we don't see him on the sidelines anymore. But if he doesn't, he's got a young enough team that he's probably going to say, we should try and make another run.
Yep.
And I'm the best guy to coach this team because I think he is still.
Yep.
That's what's riding on this Grey Cup this year.
Tired of going to redneck barbecues? Well, you better call Rocky Mountain Barbecue. Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Great tasting food, clean and efficient service. Check us out online or call Rocky Mountain Barbecue.